guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing an application, kind of like first impressions of my Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue foundation. I'm wearing the colors 109 and 112 right now. My hue could be 112, but it's a little bit deeper, just a tiniest bit too dark for me when it sets into my face. But I do like this foundation, so if you want to see how it applies in the application process with the Seamless Beauty Sponge as well, then please keep on watching. Foundation is $36. It's 1 fluid ounces. It's vegan, cruelty-free, talc-free, paraben-free, oil-free, and fragrance-free. So if you have sensitive skin and you don't like any scent to your face makeup or makeup at all, this would be a recommendable foundation. It is also high pigment, matte finish, buildable, lightweight, and long wear. It definitely is lightweight. I've built this up like maybe 2.5 layers on my face and I did not feel anything. It blends really easily and it is pretty long wear, I'm gonna have to say. My friend Tatiana did a 12-hour wear test going to the gym twice. So if you're interested in that, I'd highly recommend you checking her video. I will link it down below. I won't be wearing this foundation to the gym because I don't like wearing makeup to the gym, but if you are looking to put this foundation to the test, my friend Tatiana did do a video, and like I said, I'll link it down below. And it is very high pigment. So this is what the box looks like. It is gorgeous. I love this box. It says meet your hue, meet your hue, meet your hue. It's Dose of Colors, so I don't expect anything less from them. And this is what it looks like itself. It's a glass bottle, black top. It says foundation on the top, so you know what it is. It says meet your hue, and on the bottom it says your shade. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and pump out. Also, I wanted to mention their pump, one pump is kind of more like just the perfect amount you need if you don't need that much coverage. It's medium to full and you can build to full. As you can see, I kind of have some red spots and breakouts. I mean, it's gotten better, but I kind of picked at it today, so it is a little bit red. And this is what 112 looks like. I'll pump out 109. And that's what, it's leaking. Okay, 109 and 112. I like to mix them together because I feel like that is my perfect Meet Your Hue shade. I don't know what shade that is, but I feel like it's pretty. I thought I like wiped it off. It's a pretty good match. I don't want to get anything in my hair. I'm going to go ahead and put on my headband. I'm kind of messed up because I have foundation on the back of my hand and I don't want to. Okay. So I don't want any foundation to get in my hair. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take my foundation brush and mix 109 and 112 together. And I also forgot to mention I did get the sponge and I love the sponge. The sponge is $15 and it's teardrop shape. It's pretty big, I'm not going to lie, once it gets damp. And I've used it twice already and it's pretty squishy. I'm going to go ahead and apply the foundation with my foundation brush. And I primed already, so this is what it looks like. And I will list below what I used to prime my face if you are interested in what's on my brows. I want to just spray my face before I apply foundation, but it's okay. So what I like to do is I like to apply it with my foundation brush. This is the Morphe MB9. I like to buff it out with just a foundation buffer brush. This is the Morphe G40. I'm going to take some onto the brush and I'm going to blend it out. I don't have a lot of problem areas on my cheeks, so I don't really need most of the coverage there. Like, I do have some redness that I would like to cover, but, you know, the true test is going to be my forehead because that's where I'm breaking out the most at the moment. Pump another pump of 112 and 109. We're going to mix the two together. And like I said, I think this mixing them together is my perfect match. I can just use 112 if I wanted to. I just have to bring it down my neck and my and just round it up a little bit. But I mean, I have both, so I'm going to do it anyways. Foundation brush is a little bit too big for my forehead, even though I have the world's biggest forehead. So I'm gonna just kind of blend it out and lay it over everywhere first. I will go ahead and blend it out with my brush, beauty blender, or seamless sponge. So what I have found, I personally like to reapply my foundation where I need the coverage or where I want to kind of spot conceal or spot cover, and then I'll blend it out with my beauty blender. So I'm going to go ahead and just apply a little bit more on my cheeks. That's where I want to cover. Take my beauty sponge. I'm going to spritz it with my Elcie Hydra Enhancer. It's a little dry now. It's been sitting out for a little bit. Take a little bit on the back of my hand and just buff the foundation in. I like that it's flat because it's different. And it just nicely blends everything. This right here is one layer on my forehead and then kind of like 2 layers on my cheeks. I'm going to move up a little bit. And this is what it looks like so far. It is like a very nice skin-like finish. I would use another layer to cover up the redness even more on my breakouts on my forehead. But I would feel comfortable leaving the house like this. I just kind of apply a little bit more concealer. But I do like it. And I'm going to go ahead and use the rest of the foundation. I'm just going to grab it on my sponge and use that on my forehead. It is a little bit harder to get into the sides of my nose because it's so flat, but no worries. It is not clinging on to any dry patches, but I will say you should moisturize and prep your skin really well, just so the foundation is clinging on to something. I always like to prime my face, so. And as you can still see, there is that little red one that will not be hidden. So I'm going to apply a little bit more. I'm just going to do like half a pump, both, to reapply it with my brush. I'm just going to go over it. Usually my cheeks, my forehead is not that red. But because I went on a picking spree today, it is extremely red and kind of annoyed at me. So, once again, I'm just going to pounce it. Especially this one right here. I literally just popped it and not literally, I popped it kind of like at 10 a.m. It is now 2:20 and it is still raging red. I'm just going to accept the fact that this pimple does not want to be hidden. What my face looks like with the foundation, I have 2 layers on and then I kind of went in and spot foundationed the rest of the areas that I like to have more coverage on. It looks like this. I really like it. It is very skin-like and it doesn't emphasize any dry patches at all. I'm going to go ahead with my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer and I'm going to conceal my under eyes, kind of just fix up my shadow, and just my normal shebang. I went ahead and applied some concealer on these 2 spots that don't want to be covered, but it covered everything else. That really red pimple that I just popped was covered fine. This concealer get a little bit tacky. I'm going to spritz a little bit more of my Elcie Hydra Enhancer. Head and blend out my under eyes. And this really plays well with every other concealer I've tried to use it with, and I do really like it. It doesn't lift up my concealer or anything. So this pimple is still showing just a little bit. I don't know why it's covering that one, but not that one, so let me never know. Like, this texture is getting a little bit better. I'm not going to lie. It's just, I wish it would get better faster, but it's fine. This is with my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer on top. As you can see, I know it says a matte finish, but I feel like it's kind of like a satin because I still see a little bit of a glow on both sides, and I didn't apply any skin illuminator because I wanted to see how it looks like by itself, and each time I've applied this foundation, this beautiful glow just comes out, and it's just so pretty because it's very skin-like, and you don't need to apply an illuminator if you don't want to. If you have texture here or anything like that and you don't want it to emphasize the texture, This just is really beautiful. It does kind of go away when you apply powder and everything, but it's gorgeous. I'm not going to lie. And like I said, it blends well with the concealer blends well with the foundation, and I just like how it looks. Here it is. As you can see, I do my textures right here, but I mean, you can still see the texture obviously because it's like 3D, but it's, I mean, it is what it is. I can't stop the texture from showing, but I do like how the foundation looks. And I think this is a good color, but I do really like it, and you guys let me know down below what you think. So now I'm going to apply my highlighting concealers. These are my Jouer Essential High Coverage Liquid Concealers. It's creaseless, soft matte, hyaluronic acid. I'm using the colors Wheat and Creme Brulee. And I've used this exact combo before, and still looks amazing. I don't like to let this concealer set too long, so I'm going to go ahead and blend out my chin first. Go ahead and bake under my eyes using my Fenty Beauty Instant Retouch Powder in Banana. Using my same dose of colors, Seamless Sponge. I'm just going to make sure that everything is blended. I'm going to press it in first. And then I'm going to bake all over. And you guys, what I love about the sponge is that the flat part, I can just dip it into my powder and I can just go ahead and bake from there. Like, it just covers such a wide area. I've let the powder set in, and now I'm going to go ahead and use my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder in number 2, and I'm going to dust off the powder using my Morphe E48. And I do the whole 9 yards because I'm an oily person, so I need to set my face and I need to bake, or else my concealer will crease on the bottom. This is my ColourPop powder brush, I believe it is. I'm not quite sure. I'm using it as a powder brush though. This is it with, I keep wanting to say baking powder. This is it after wiping off the loose powder and setting my entire face. Still, I feel like it's very natural looking. It's very smooth and it's set really, really well. It looks like, and like I said, I really do like it still, and I'm going to go ahead and bronze my face now. Loving using the Kylie Cosmetics Tequila Tan Bronzer. And I'm going to take my e.l.f. complexion brush. Go ahead and take this Smashbox angled powder brush. I'm going to use it to contour. It's my first time using it. I've been really wanting to try Smashbox brushes. I feel like it lightly just chiseled my cheeks and like nothing too dramatic. It's out with my Morphe MB1 OE41. Head and carve out my contour using my same seamless sponge. And if I didn't mention this already, it is $15. Went ahead and dusted off my Fenty powder, and I'm now going to apply some blush. I'm going to be taking my Kylie Cosmetics Baddie on the Block. I love this blush. Such a pretty color. And I'm going to take my Japanesque blush brush. I'm also going to go ahead and apply some highlighter. This is my Dose of Colors Desi X Katy highlighter in Fuego. I'm using my A12, right? Or 112? I'm not quite sure. Off. Taking my Luxie 231, I'm going to highlight my nose. And set my face. I'm pretty much all done. Right before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and blend out the highlighter just a little bit. Taking my Elcie Hydra Enhancer, and I'm going to spritz my face. End of my application first impressions. Not first impressions because I've worn it before, but first impressions on camera. I think this may be one of my favorite foundations ever. You guys know I love Dose of Colors, and definitely this is not sponsored, but I just love it. Like, you cannot see my pores with this foundation, and it's blended in really nicely. And I mean, I know this is highlight right here. People are gonna be like, what foundation are you wearing? Because your face looks poreless. It's so good. And I'm not going to lie, I do have some buildup on the sides of my nose, but that goes with any foundation I wear throughout the day, and it does build up, and I think I'm just going to have to live with the fact that I have that. But my favorite foundations, like the Maybelline Fit Me, it does that on the sides of my nose. My Lancome Tint Idol, my Fenty, it does that. So, I mean, I would rather it not do that, but it's not like, this is not like a first thing with this foundation, you know. I've experienced it with foundations I use on the daily, so I'm not mad about it, but I just wish it wasn't there. But I do really like this foundation. It is, as the box claims, it is high pigment, and it's very buildable. It's medium to full. I believe that, I mean, you can probably build it up even more, but I feel like 2 layers of foundation is more than enough. And I feel like it's a forgiving matte finish, because I do have some dry spots, especially where my little breakouts are, and it's not emphasizing it too much. It could be worse, and I've seen worse, but I mean, it's really not an issue. For sure, the emphasizing of the dry patches could be a lot worse, but you know, I don't see it with this, and it blended out beautifully with my other face products. Nothing lifted. Like, I just really like this foundation, and it's for sure lightweight. It doesn't feel like anything is on my face, and long wear. I'm not going to do a wear test, but I've worn this foundation before to work to get my hair done, and it's lasted pretty well, and I don't touch up throughout the day. I may need to blot my oil because I do get oily, but I don't touch up, and it still looks really nice, and I'll just like respray my face with a little bit of setting spray just to make everything look more dewy. But it is, I'm not mad about it, honestly. So if you do have dry patches, maybe just moisturize your face really well, but I do like it. And like I said, I do have some texture on my forehead. I will zoom in to show you guys. I do have some texture on my forehead, and it's not bringing too much attention to it. I mean, my hair kind of hides it, but I really like this foundation. It's $36, 42 shades, you guys. It comes in light, medium, and deep, I believe. It's a pretty good range in my opinion. I would highly recommend checking it out. Good thing my powder didn't break. Anna used to be a makeup artist, so she definitely knows what's missing in the industry and what needs to be put in her shade line. This is me up close and personal. I have to look on the side because that's where my monitor is, so I can see that I'm in focus. So this is what it looks like. Right here is where I'm experiencing more of that texture. Can you see? Right here is where most of my texture is. I mean, I wish it wasn't there, but I'm not mad at it because I don't think it's emphasizing it too much. And as you can see, it's not really dry per se. It doesn't look dry. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm honestly like, this is a pretty good foundation in my opinion. And then, as you can tell right here, like everything just looks smooth. And then for my nose, I mean, you can tell that, I don't want to touch you can tell like there is a little bit of foundation that's building up there. But you can tell that there is foundation building up, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not mad at it. I do still like this foundation, and look, there's literally no pores, you guys. I mean, obviously I used a pore filling primer, but foundation I feel like also did a good job in, you know, not emphasizing that. I am kind of a little dry right here. Right there. I feel like the sides of my mouth is a little bit dry always. Like I need to moisturize that really well, but it's not too bad. And I feel like when my oil comes through, it will kind of like soften it up and not look as dry. This is the foundation. And this is 109 and 112 mixed together. Like I said, I could go with 112. It just is, when it sets a little bit darker, and I don't think it's oxidizing, because what I think oxidation is when, you know, you apply the foundation, you know, push through your day and it's like 2 shades darker, 3 shades darker than when you first applied it. I feel like the foundation needed to set, because when I did apply it, it did look like a perfect match, and then it kind of set in for like 5 to 10 minutes and it got a little bit deeper in shade. But if I had applied some bronzer, applied some concealer, some highlighting concealer, I think it would have been great. I mean, I did apply it. My boyfriend said it was a little bit deeper in skin tone, but you know, it didn't look that bad, and I've seen worse. Like it. I love it. Is it my favorite foundation? I'm gonna have to continue to try it. I'm gonna have to continue to try it with different primers, but I would grab it. I would grab towards it. I'm not going to lie. You guys know I love Dose of Colors. I had high expectations for this foundation, and I would probably give it an A. I said it's drawing on the sides of my nose, sides of my mouth, and then it is kind of collecting on the sides of my nose, but a lot of my favorite foundations do that, so I'm not like, oh my god, this is the worst foundation in the world, because it's not. I just can't stop looking at my pores. Like, there is none. Like, my face looks so smooth, y'all. Okay, let's talk about the sponge. It's a little dirty, I'm not gonna lie. But I do like it. This reminds me of a Hershey Kiss, like a teardrop. I love that you can get just right into the under eyes, and I love you can use the bottom to set the forehead, set the cheeks if you need to. It's really nice. It's $15. It's cheaper than the Beauty Blender, and it is a little bit more expensive than e.l.f. sponge, Morphe sponge, but I still really like it. It's very smooth, and it's like the size of my face, or like palm. But I do like it. It says Dose of Colors. It like embossed in there. Very soft, very bouncy. I would definitely repurchase this if it were to break or anything, rip, and I need a new one. And I will grab it. Like, maybe this will replace all my Beauty Blenders. I don't know, but I love it. I like it. I love it. You guys, this is the end of my review and kind of like impressions of my Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue foundation. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you try this foundation, please let me know your thoughts down below. And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one.